No more free anime. What are we going to do? Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Afterpreneur. Welcome to my media channel. It's been a hot minute since we've talked about any news stories, and of course, with me coming back, we're going to be discussing a story that is already old news and it's already been dissected, but I want to share my opinion on it. However, and that is with this thing with Crunchyroll basically taking away their free preview episodes. But before we get into that, please, if you have not yet, please consider subscribing to the Afterpreneur Media. We would like to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I think we can do that. We talk about physical media streaming, and as you can see down here, we have talked about Crunchyroll before, and we will probably continue to talk about Crunchyroll. So anyway, let's go to this tweet by Jet Zero, and he is announcing something that, of course, is pretty disappointing. And I'm gonna be honest, I do agree with him to a point that this is not a good thing for them to be doing, but unlike most people, I kind of want to take a bigger picture approach, look at what potentially the other side of the coin might be. And also, I've been around for anime for a very, very long time in this industry, I should say. I was watching Sailor Moon on TV at 5:30 in the morning in 1996, was it? I think it was 96, or maybe it was 95. Bottom line, I've been around the block, and you know, it used to be really hard to get anime. And I remember how anime used to be such a big investment. I mean, you usually had to spend $30, $40 to buy a DVD sight unseen. Before that, it was like a $50 VHS tape for 2 episodes. And there wasn't a whole lot of ways to sample your anime unless it was on TV, which was very rare. It was usually Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon, and Toonami, and that's one of the reasons why Toonami is still revered, because of the ways it was able to just bring people into the hobby. I even remember back then when DVDs were starting to get expensive, places like Central Park Media and ADV would sell you mini DVDs where they would have 1 or 2 episodes of the show on there for like $5 or something like that, and then they would include a coupon where if you wanted to buy like the whole box set or a future DVD, you could get like $10 off of it. So there are a lot of ways that back then they experimented with getting anime, but Crunchyroll probably had one of the best ones where they would give you the first few episodes of a series for free. You'd have to watch it with ads, but you could watch for free, and then you could subscribe to the service later on to finish the series. Well, that apparently is not a thing anymore, and this is according, this is according to Crunchyroll, but Jet Zero, I'm sorry, I cannot talk today. Jet Zero, the snobby black weeb, that's his name, not mine, decided to share the email, and the email, we'll look at the email first, even though I'm sure you've been reading his comment this whole time. For the spring 2022 season and future seasonal releases, Crunchyroll will update our offering on Simulcast titles by subscription tier. To view new and continued simulcasts, a premium monthly or annual subscription will be required. With the exception below, we will no longer be offering simulcast episodes 1 week after release as an ad-supported free viewing option. For continuing series, ad-supported viewing on any new episodes will not be available in line with the spring season. However, previously published episodes are still available to all user types. To introduce our new seasonal simulcast, we will be offering initial episodes of select titles as part of a seasonal sampler for free viewing for a limited time. For the spring 2022 seasons, users can watch the first 3 episodes of these simulcast titles for free with ads, and these are the shows. So I guess I misread this just a little bit. I was aware that Crunchyroll did do the first few episodes free. I did not realize, because of paying for Crunchyroll all this time, that the latest simulcast release was ad supported. But anyway, these are the titles that you can watch the first 3 episodes of the simulcast titles for free. And it's Spy X Family, look forward to that, A Couple of Cuckoos, Dawn of the Witch, Tomodachi Game, Skeleton Knight, Another World, Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, The Greatest Demon Lord is reborn as a typical nobody, that actually sounds kind of awesome, and Trapped in a Dating Sim, the world of Otomi Games is tough for mobs. Some of these titles, I swear, I love anime, but man, some of these titles. So anyway, Jet Zero said this: "Yo, Crunchyroll, this kind of blank isn't okay. There's no reason to screw over non-subscriber users like this, especially now that you're the biggest game in town. Stuff like this is what actually helps to encourage more piracy." And the thing is, I don't really disagree with him all that much. Now, I want to reiterate that my position is that basically threatening to pirate things because you are not happy with a deal that you are being offered is not an answer. I know people do it. I know people carry out on the threat, but it's kind of like those people who say, hey, Netflix, don't you dare start charging to share the passwords of the account, or you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to piracy for your shows. And it's like, dude, you're not paying for this stuff anyway. So Netflix does not care. And I would make that same argument in Crunchyroll's case, although it is a little different because it is ad supported. At least it's ad supported so long as you're not using an ad blocker. I'm not sure how many people are using ad blockers for Crunchyroll, and if they are, that might be contributing to this. But the big question is, why is Crunchyroll doing this? Because it kind of seems like a sweet deal. And even the way that this is being done, you know, Crunchyroll could offer you the first few episodes free of viewing as an ad-supported tier. And then as long as you are diligent enough to keep coming back to the site every single week, for a very limited time, the latest episode will be simulcast for free. And then if you want to watch the stuff in the middle, then you pay for Crunchyroll. I mean, that kind of sounds like a good deal. I mean, it certainly encourages a lot of engagement with the Crunchyroll site. Like, if you don't want to pay for this stuff and there's a brand new series, you're going to be at Crunchyroll every single week on that browser, because streaming it through your Roku or Apple TV or Xbox does require a subscription. That's basically a service they're providing you. But yeah, you would be there every single week to make sure that you could catch that show and not have to pay for it. And there would be ads. And assuming you weren't using a ad blocker, that seems like a pretty good deal for Crunchyroll, right? Well, here's the thing. If Crunchyroll is making this change, maybe this wasn't a good deal for them. I don't know exactly what the ads paid for Crunchyroll shows, but maybe it wasn't enough. Maybe it just wasn't enough, and they really need to up their subscription services. In fact, now that they've bought Funimation, maybe they have a higher expectation of what subscription numbers they should have. Because keep in mind, Sony is not monopolizing the anime industry out of the goodness of their heart. They want to show real numbers. They see the value in having a monopoly on a niche product because they want to be able to effectively control that industry. Now, there's still, like, you know, high dive anime out there, but there's not a whole lot anymore. Now that Funimation has essentially been absorbed into Crunchyroll, that, you know, there's a lot less option. And really, there might be just a big reason for this, and it might be a logical reason, it might be a simple reason, and it might be the reason on which people say why monopolies are not good. Because when you remove competition from an industry and you basically give all the power to one player, that one player gets to call the shots for everything. I'm thinking if there's a reason Crunchyroll is doing this, it's simply because they can. They now control everything. Pretty much. I mean, I think they control 85% of the anime industry in America. I don't think it's even that much of an exaggeration. You know, the only competitor they had really was Funimation, and really, for all intents and purposes, Funimation was the anime player. They did the dubbing, they had the DVD market cornered, the Blu-rays, they were doing well theatrically. Funimation was the hot stuff, and Crunchyroll bought them, and now Funimation is gone. All those resources now supporting Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll will dominate. And so, yeah, I think Crunchyroll does because now they want to bolster their subscriptions. They want to be able to say, look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever million anime fans paying $10 a month, or in my case, I paid like $60 a year. And, you know, we want to be able to drive people there. And by the way, you're going to start seeing more anti-consumer changes. Because one of the ways that you justify paying for Crunchyroll, aside from getting the back catalog, was that, hey, there's going to be no ads on the anime. And yet, I think ads pay for everything. We've seen this with Netflix. We've seen this with Disney+. Ads are the future. And I think Crunchyroll wants to get as many of these subscribers there so that they can start selling ads on anime. And Grant, I don't think it to be especially egregious. In fact, all anime has specific spots where you can easily put ads and not disrupt the flow of the show. Anime fans in America are not going to like it. They're probably going to threaten to go to piracy because they don't want to see ads. But then, funny enough, those anime sites, those free ones, have ads and they're not going to the creators. So, yeah, that's stealing in multiple ways. But the bottom line is this. Crunchyroll is going to be doing these things because they can. There's no one to stop them. This is why I voiced concerns about this merger. Because when you take the two biggest anime companies in America, who combined, it's not a stretch to say they control 75 to 85% of the anime market in America, and you make them one, things like this are going to happen. And in fact, even though I'm not going to read from it, I'm going to share this article from the Fandom Post, www.fandompost.com, how Crunchyroll won Silicon Valley style. Personally, I would call it how Crunchyroll won the anime war Silicon Valley style. That's my personal opinion. But, you know, that aside, this is a very good article. I do like the alternate title. Or, I was a villainess to the bigwigs, but I worked hard with cash and aggressive maneuvers to win the town. And now I'm the Queen, Volume 16. And they have this little blueprint here that I think is very telling. Through it all, Crunchyroll made multiple investors and guidance, did what it needed to do. Follow the Silicon Valley model. Go in and be reckless first by breaking the rules and law. Develop and bring a massive audience as a way to get the incumbent anime production committee on board. Become a name brand synonymous with an easy-to-use interface with low consumer and customer friction. Question mark, question mark, profit. Yep, that is the Silicon Valley. This is a very good read, this article by, who is it? By AJ Adajar. This is a very well written article. And when you read it, you're going to understand why things like this happen. Because now Crunchyroll can effectively strong-arm you into paying for the service. And by the way, a lot of people don't like how the video player on Crunchyroll works. They don't like how the interface is. And if you thought that it was bad before, they're really not going to be motivated to fix it now. They really are not. And it is super concerning on where this is going to go. And the thing is, even though it's anti-consumer to a certain extent, it's still something that I have to encourage people to pay for. Not only because it is illegal to steal anime, but you go to those piracy sites, you know what? They're going to be riddled with bugs and spyware. And you open up your computer to a lot of risk. Now, you can get a VPN. It only goes so far. Malware doesn't always take the VPNs into consideration, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so Crunchyroll, it's not like they were exactly a beloved fixture in the anime community, but it's going to get worse, and you have to be prepared for it. So anyway, that is where we are going to leave this topic. I would like to know your thoughts. What do you think about this? Are you going to keep your Crunchyroll subscription? Is this going to make you become a Crunchyroll subscriber now that you can no longer keep up to date with free simulcasts? I would love to know. Comment below. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, playing responsibly. Have a good one.